will your taste change on the Primal diet? Somebody left me a comment about they ate a lot of beef and organs and milk, and now they're losing taste for it. They really have a craving for more fruit and honey and cheese, and that's something that's pretty common, because as you eat a certain way, that's going to work on certain factors, certain healing factors. So, Ajna says that red meat will help the glands, the muscles, and the organs. So if you're eating lots of that, you're nourishing those tissues. In my mind, that's how it's working. And you eat so much of that, maybe your body is feeling lacking in some other areas, which is where white meat would come in. According to Ajna, the white meat heals the nerves, the connective tissues, the lymphatic system, the skin. So it's completely normal to get sick of red meat. Even if you're doing the vegetable juice and you're not over acidic, beef does create more acidity. So, that could be an issue. Maybe check in with yourself and see how much vegetable juice you're doing. You could do some vegetable juice and a hydration formula, throughout the day. And that should provide enough alkalizing material to cancel out the acidity from the beef. You may need as many as 6 to 8 cups of vegetable juice a day, but that isn't a static number. That would change as your body heals. As you progress on the diet, you would need less and less over time. So keep that in mind. But it's always a good thing to mix up your meats, I think, because they work on different things. They can help satisfy cravings, especially fish, because fish is very rich in minerals, and it's very calming. So I really recommend everybody to get a good source of fish. And you can eat fish, like fish with beef, fish with chicken, beef with chicken, fish with pork, stuff like that. It's all good to do, right? And if you know where you need help, then you can kind of concentrate on what meats you want. And cheese with honey is a good thing. You don't want to eat too much honey, I think. But starting out, I never really had any problems. My appetite for honey significantly decreased after about 4 months of eating a lot of honey. You might just be starved for enzymes to help with digestion. So, you can eat a fill of honey, but just try not to overdo it. I mean, it is expensive, and it is hard to find good honey. So, I think it's wise to ration it. So, cheese with honey, though, you only need about 1.5 teaspoons per 2 tablespoons of cheese. That's a really good mineral supplement. If you let your cheese dry, you cut it up, let it dry on a plate for a couple days, maybe a week or 2, I think that increases the minerals in it the longer it ages. So that's a good mineral-rich food. Getting tired of milk, I mean, honestly, I can't imagine getting tired of milk. Maybe it'll happen, someday. But after, several years of drinking milk every day, I can't imagine living without it. It would not be fun. So another thing too is if you're eating a lot of organs, that's not the best. If you know what, like I said, if you know where you want to direct healing, you want to concentrate on those organs. That's what Ajna says, and it's an old Chinese, what is it? Not a saying, but just a practice they did in Chinese medicine. If you have a liver problem, they would eat the liver. If they had a kidney problem, they would eat the kidneys. So that's something you could try. And this is just a hunch. I don't know, maybe if I heard it in a Q&A, but, well, I suppose I did. Because Ajna would recommend people eating pork intestine with the meat meals. So, in eating the pork intestine would help, what he said would help the human repair that. So I think by combining regular meat with organs, that might be more effective, because if you're providing, it's like if you're just eating organs as a meat meal, that's going to be your meat meal, right? But if you're eating a meat, like a muscle meat with an organ, then you have the body would be able to utilize the muscle meat, and then the organ is just extra. So maybe the body would utilize more of the amino acids and proteins and the organs, which are already defined to work on those areas that need help the most. And the other muscle meats would kind of go where they need to go. That is not the organ, if that makes sense. Obviously, you want to eat that with some fat too, energy. And I think, some people say eggs are a cope or a cop-out. But I think if the body needs energy to function and you're providing fats, whether it's in bone marrow or butter or eggs, that's a sufficient solution. Because if you're having eggs before, 1 to 3 eggs, you're having eggs with your meat, you're having eggs after your meat, the eggs are digested very rapidly, so your body would be using those nutrients from the egg first. And if you keep filling your body with eggs, periodically through that meat processing, you would effectively be giving your body the energy through the eggs. And hopefully your body is using the meat to rebuild, like Autogenous says. Like, for instance, if you were to use butter or bone marrow. So that's just a couple hunches and what to do about cravings. In terms of fruit, you don't want to eat a lot of fruit. You want to eat, a limited amount of fruit. If you're an athlete, if you're an active person, you can have more fruit. That's okay. But if you're not, you want to lay off the fruit. Personally, I don't eat too much fruit in the winter. I'll probably eat about 1 grapefruit a week. Like, I'll get a grapefruit from the health food store. I'll eat that. I've got a watermelon to cut into, and I'll probably eat that throughout the week. Watermelon doesn't give me as much problems as other fruit. It's because it's mostly water, and it's got the rind, which is pretty bland. So, and cucumber is like a bland fruit, but I don't really like cucumber too much. So, just taper your fruit intake. Make sure you're eating it with fat, eggs or butter, cream, even milk, stuff like that. And you should be okay. But if you're craving more fruit, I would try to do more cheese and honey. Maybe incorporate some fish a couple times a week. That way it'll get you more minerals. So, but don't overdo the fruit. Try to do fruit in season. That's when it tastes best, obviously, and it probably has the best nutrient profile. Out of season fruit it's meh. Stay away from apples, especially at the store, unless you can get them local. Those can be kind of nice. I haven't had apples in a while though, but I like citrus in the winter. Grapefruit, maybe some orange. Make a orange milkshake. Some fruits a little. I don't like making grapefruit with things. I like eating grapefruit with just butter and eggs. It doesn't taste great when you make a drink out of it for some reason. I don't know. So just notice that your tastes are going to change. Your needs are going to change. That's why you should read the books once a year, because you'll always find something new.